Can I tell you a secret? You know, like I used to think that one day fear will disappear. I thought that if I waited long enough, I would finally wake up feeling confident. Like I stopped doubting myself. I've stopped overthinking. I stopped wondering whether I was good enough. And then I finally started living. But that day never came. Because fear doesn't disappear when your dreams becomes bigger. Sometimes it grows with them. The first time they speak up, you'll be scared. The first time you choose yourself, you will absolutely be scared too. And the first time you leave something that hurting you, you'll be scared because you have doubts, you have uncertainty that hasn't been answered yet. Because the first time that you chase the life that you have been dreaming about, you know what? You'll probably be terrified. And maybe that's exactly how it's supposed to feel. That's supposed to feel, because courage was never meant to replace fear. It was meant to walk through it. By the way, my name is Aries and I'm your online BFF for today. Thank you so much for clicking today's video. I truly appreciate it. Girls, boys, alright, so thank you so much for clicking today's video and welcome to the podcast, so-called podcast, by the way. So now is morning, okay, as you can see, as you can hear, maybe there's some birds chirping around. Yeah, so it's actually morning right now. Yeah, because one of the biggest lies that we tend to tell ourselves is actually you know what, I will do it when I feel ready. I will basically apply when I'm more qualified. I'll start the things when I'm more confident, when I'm more stable, I will love myself when I become better, But what if readiness isn't actually a feeling? What if the readiness is something that we create by showing up? Think about learning to swim. You can read every book, okay, watch every video, learn every technique, but eventually you still have to get into the water. Growth has always required movement before certainty, and maybe that's why you're feeling stuck, not because you're incapable, but because you have been waiting for a permissions, from a versions of yourself that only exists after you begin, Because fear doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path sometimes. Remember this, because sometimes we mistake fear for a warning, and we think that if I'm scared, maybe this isn't meant for me. But think about the biggest moments in your life. Meeting someone who changed you, starting a new job, moving to a different place, saying goodbye to someone that you love, beginning a therapy, setting some boundaries, healing, after heartbreaks, were those moments easy? No, right? So, no. Were they meaningful? Probably. Fear often appears at the edge of transformations, right? Not because you're making the wrong decision sometimes, but because you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. Your nervous system doesn't always know the difference between danger and growth. That's why healing isn't about never feeling afraid. It's about reminding yourself, I have survived uncertainty before. Okay, I will survive this too. Okay. And okay, by the way, this might surprise you. I don't think confidence comes first. No. I think evidence, you need some evidence to comes first. Every promise that you keep to yourself becomes an evidence. Every difficult conversations that you survive becomes an evidence. Every time that you get back after failing becomes an evidence for you, because confidence isn't something that you find. It's something that you collect, little by little, moment by moment. You don't wake up believing that you're capable. No, you become capable. You need to trick your mind. You need to trick your brain. And then your mind slowly starts believing it, You need to create a neural pathways inside your brain. So start waiting to become confident enough. Instead, become someone who keeps showing up and proving to yourself. You're not proving other people right. You are proving yourself right. You are showing to yourself that, I can keep promises to myself, you need to be someone who keeps showing up, even with self-doubt, even with uncertainty, even with you have anxiety or shaky hands, because that's how confidence is built. Just my general perspective, okay? Because remember, your future self is actually cheering for you. Yes, you're doing this for their sake, okay? For your future self. Sometimes I like to imagine that my future self is actually watching me, watching every moment where I almost gave up, watching every decisions that where the fear told me to stay still, I don't have to do something that out of my fear, And I imagine my future self smiling, not because I was fearless, but because I kept going anyway. Because your future self doesn't need you to become perfect today. They basically don't expect you to know every single thing. Alright? They simply need you to keep walking and trust and have faith in yourself. One small step, one honest conversations, one application, one boundary, one act of self-respect. Because your future isn't created in this one big huge miracle or in this one giant leap of faith or what. It is actually created in all your tiny acts of courage that was collected, repeated over and over and over again. Okay, right. So there was a time when fear sometimes control everything. It told you that you weren't good enough, compared to other people. That people will leave you, because you're not worthy to be loved. Or sometimes that fear will tell you, whatever that you're doing, it's not gonna take you anywhere and it's gonna fail. And you will embarrass yourself in front of everyone. Maybe sometimes those fears that's whispered inside you, those voices, your fear came from a painful experiences. Maybe they came from, from rejections, came from being misunderstood, But you see, healing sometimes doesn't erase those memories, but it changes the way that you respond to your fear. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Instead of asking that, what if I fail? You begin asking yourself, okay, what if I grow from this? Instead of asking, what if they reject me? You begin asking, what if I finally stop rejecting myself? Am I deserve to get this treatment? So you tell that to yourself. That is what healing looks like. Okay, not becoming fearless, but actually becoming someone who refuses to let fear make every decision of your life. Okay, so let me just wait a moment. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna end this video for today. So listen, if you have been waiting for a sign, alright, maybe this is it, maybe today isn't the day that you stop being afraid. maybe today is the day that you stop letting the fear decide who you actually become. Like, take the class, apply the job, start the channel, or you start your business. Write the book that you want. Say to that person that, oh, I love you, or say I'm sorry to the person that you hurt. Okay, say no if you don't like it. All right, walk away, begin, start over again, not because you're fearless. No, it's not. Okay, but because your dreams deserve a chance. Because you deserve a chance. Your healing deserves a chance. Years from now, I don't think that you'll remember how scared you were. Like, you will remember that one day, despite the fear that you have, despite the uncertainty, despite not knowing what will happen to you, you still choose yourself. And that single decision actually changed everything. Okay, be scared. Okay, be scared. Because your heart is allowed to raise. Your hands are allowed to shake. Okay? Because your voice is allowed to tremble. Just don't let fear convince you that you're not ready. Sometimes the bravest thing that you will ever do is like take one small step while your knees are still shaking. It's okay. And who knows, that small tiny steps might be the one that leads you to home. Right? Fear doesn't mean stop, okay? Sometimes it means that you're standing at the doorway of the life that you have been praying for. Be scared, but don't stop, like, don't, never. Be scared and do it anyway, Yeah. Alright. So that's it for today. And thank you so much for watching until the end, and I hope that you guys have a blessed day today. Okay, drink more water, sleep early, and yeah, that's it. Don't forget to pray too. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye. See you guys in my next video.